Herrera frequently emphasizes the hardships of the oppressed, as we all know from watching the interview with him last Saturday. Through analyzing Herrera's poems, it becomes evident that he particularly enjoys emphasizing the struggles of war. When closely looking at Herrera's poems, it is easier to see how Herrera comments on the struggles soldiers face during and after war. First off, it is evident that Herrera is very critical of war, which can be seen in poems such as Foreign Inhabitant, in which Herrera writes that only a few numbers of soldiers still believe in the dark blue evening that will shield us with its star. Through this line, Herrera proves that many past soldiers who once firmly believed in the idea of America being the land of the free are open to a different perspective through their war experience, as Herrera notes that war inevitably opens all doors. He also comments on the hardship soldiers face after war, such as post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD. In his poem, Norte America, I Am Your Scar, he emphasizes how he and his friends grab their shoulders at odd times, and throughout this poem talks about scars. It is easy to infer that by talking about scars, Herrera is not only talking about the physical, but the mental scar as well. Through the remark that he and his friends frequently grab their shoulders, Herrera is implying that they still feel the pain of not only mental, but a physical level as well. Herrera also suggests what a scar can mean to a soldier when he writes, "Your dreams know the scar very well," meaning that the soldier's dreams are haunted by the scar of the past and contains an insufferable pain that the soldier cannot separate himself from. Herrera also recognizes the dehumanizing nature of war. After discussing the scar and its impact on the soldier, Herrera writes that today is an age of the half men and the half women. While it might be confusing to understand what Herrera means by this, his intention becomes clear in the second line when he writes that he longs for a time in which humanity shall walk with two legs once again. One of the most distinctive differences between an animal and a human is the human's ability to walk on two legs, therefore implying that war strips us of our human conscience and births a more animalistic and barbaric society. However, Herrera does not blame the soldier for war. He blames authority, as it is authority that sends these men to war and creates it. In Inferno Street, Herrera speaks more about the soldier and through his use of diction offers a criticism of authority and a glorification of the rebel, who is in this case the soldier. When describing his evil motives, Herrera writes about his lover's evilness as being enigmatic. By describing his lover's evilness as being mysterious, he heightens the reader's interest. Herrera then chooses to use the phrase night watchman as opposed to authority figure, because the use of the words night and winter in poems are frequently meant to portray darkness. By utilizing the word night, Herrera gives the poem a more cynical, dark tone. At this point, Herrera becomes critical of authority, as he goes on to describe the soldiers he communicates with as ravenous. By describing them as ravenous, not only does Herrera create a more intense tone, though he allows readers to understand how desperate these soldiers are for change and righteousness. The reason that Herrera highlights this is to justify how the soldiers are about to rebel against the authority. He closes the poem by asking his knife to help him carry through the multi-night, which means multiple nights. Again, Herrera uses the word night not literally, but figuratively, as he intends to create a more worrisome, cold, and dark tone, suggesting that the soldiers are about to face hard times in their battle against authority. Herrera also utilizes a biblical allusion to provide further justification of the soldiers' evil thoughts and plans, for when he says that he and the soldiers break bread, he is clearly alluding to the Last Supper, and by using religious sentiment, he implies that God is on the side of him and his fellow soldiers, supplying their actions with a justified morality.